Hey there, guys. This is Stephanie Lowe, CEO of the J29 Experience. I'm coming to you guys live on tonight, as usual, on Sundays at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I want you guys to tune in, share this message, spread the word about J29. So tonight, we want to talk about the fourth quarter cleanup. And I know you guys are probably wondering, what exactly is that? What does it consist of? So we'll get into that. So I want to first start off by thanking all of the supporters of J29 Experience. For those of you who are new to my page, to those of you who are new to my live broadcast, again, I am Stephanie Lowe, the CEO and founder of the J29 Experience. The J29 Experience, also referred to as J29, is a service-based divorce resource center where we provide an array of resources to women who are going through a divorce and women who have already gone through a divorce proceeding. So the resources that we offer are for the families of the divorced women, and they include one-on-one mentoring, life group sessions, as well as online exclusive resources, and a lot of different things that we are making available to these women. So tonight we're going to talk about the fourth quarter cleanup. What exactly is the fourth quarter cleanup? Well, we have the three quarters that the year consists of. And so I wanted to do something special as we prepare to end the month of November, a month of being thankful, and as we prepare to go into the Christmas holiday season. I know that there are a lot of women out there who are going through a lot of different things, encountering a lot of emotional things, a lot of physical things that they are going through at the end of the year, especially those who are going through a divorce proceeding. And so I want to, number one, commend you guys for getting through the 2018 year thus far. You have made it through the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and most of the fourth quarter. And there are some things that you have gone through that nobody knows about. There are things that you have encountered that you've gone through alone. And I call those things exile experiences. An exile experience is a dark place in your life that you encounter that just takes you to an isolated place. It takes you to a place of desolation. And so there are some things that you've gone through that nobody even knows about. I want to commend you for having the strength to get through the situations that life has thrown your way. I want to commend you for maintaining who you are, maintaining your dignity, maintaining your persona, for everything that you've encountered in life. Life has a way of throwing us curveballs that we're not prepared for, but you have made it through. You've made it through most of this year, and I commend you because there are some people that did not make it this far, even in 2018. There are some people who may not make it to see 2019, but by the grace of God, you've made it here. And so for that alone, you should give God praise and you should be thankful for that because you didn't have to do it, and God didn't have to allow you to make it this far. But you've made it this far. You kept your head up. You are still going strong. You are still being who God has called you to be. It may not be easy, and no one said that it would be easy. But because you've made it this far, you've got a reason to thank God. Because you didn't quit, because you did not throw in the towel, you've got a reason to thank God for allowing you to make it this far. So I want to commend you guys for making it this far in 2018. And so as you prepare to finish out the fourth quarter 2018, I want you to know that there are some things that I want to charge you to do. I want to charge you to take that self-examination. I want to charge you to declutter some things. And in doing so, one of the things that I like to do is reflect and review. Reflect on the things that have happened this year. Reflect on the things that you've gone through. Reflect on the trials and the tribulations that you have made it through this year. It is so helpful to take a journal, write down the things that you've encountered. And, and it's not just something to go back and it's not like you're meditating on the bad times. But what I found is that when you can take a journal of the things that you have encountered in life, those are moments of reflections that will push you. Those are moments of reflections that will let you know you've made it through some rough situations, because there may be times that you go through something that may not be as big as something you've encountered in 2018. And you're going to need to be reminded that, you know what, you've gone through something harder than this. You've gone through something more difficult than this. And if God brought you out of that, surely he can bring you out of something else. You know, God doesn't change. He's the same God yesterday, today, and forevermore. And so, one of the points of reflecting and reviewing is so that you can know and understand and get in a habit of encouraging yourself. We're not going to always have someone there. We're not going to always have someone who will be that listening ear or that shoulder to cry on. And there will be so many moments where you will need to encourage yourself. So I want you to take a journal, begin journaling, reflecting and reviewing on some things that you have encountered during the 2018 year. And I guarantee you, you know, when you start back looking over things, you'll find reasons to start thanking God, you know, because there are situations where you could have lost your mind. There are situations where you should have given up. There are situations where you should have thrown in the towel. You should have went ballistic on some people, but you made it through. You made it through level-headed. You made it through with your mind. You made it through with your peace. You made it through with your joy. You made it through with your bearings. And that is something that you should be extremely proud of. You should be extremely proud of. So I commend you again for making it through the year of 2018 thus far. And so I want you to also review even on the good times, journal the good times, the good celebrations, the things that you have had occur to you for 2018. I say, you know, for myself, 2018 has been, it's been a roller coaster of a year. You know, I've had some extreme highs, and I've also had some extreme lows. I have had some awesome people who God has blessed to come into my life. I've established some wonderful connections, some great friends, some people who genuinely love me for me. I don't have to worry about not being who I am. I can be who I am. I can be my silly self. I can be my lovable self. And these people are just a joy to be in my life. You know, I've had some rebirthing of some old connections. I've had some rebirthing of some family connections, and it's blessed my soul tremendously. And I've even had some burials of some connections, you know, and some of you can relate to that, where you've had to bury some relationships, you've had to let some folk go, you have had to let some people walk out of your life because they're not meant to go into the next season of life with you. And so those have been some seasons of grief for me, of grieving for me, some moments of sorrow. But you know what? As I look back on those moments, I thank God, because there were things that I encountered during those connections that were not meant to be. There were things that I encountered that God never meant for me to go through. But because I did not heed to his instructions, because I did not heed to the red flags that he had allowed to submerge all around me, I caused myself to go through some grief myself. So, you know, I thank God for the people who have walked out of my life in 2018, because you know what? It's been a blessing in disguise. I'm not bitter about it. I'm not upset about it. I don't hold any grudges about it. I'm just thankful that number one, God allowed these people to come into my life for a season and a reason. And number two, God allowed the transition to be a smooth one for me. I can't speak on their behalf, but for me, it's been a smooth transition. Yeah, I had some sleepless nights over some situations and connections that ended, but overall, I have been extremely blessed, because you know what? When God took some people out of my life this year, he blessed me in a tremendous way to bring some awesome, absolutely awesome people into my life. And so some things that I thought were a loss for me, some things that I thought was a huge hit for me, it was a blessing in disguise for God to open up my arms to receive the people that he was preparing to bring into my life. So if you're like me, you've had a roller coaster of a year. You know, you've had some ups, you've had some downs, you've had some things that kind of went whirlwind, you know, all around you. But at the end of it all, you're still standing. And so I commend you for that. And some of the other highs for me for 2018, it was the most celebrated birthday I've ever had this year. God allowed me to celebrate my birthday this year in Africa. It was such an amazing experience. I tell you, it was a humbling experience. I met some absolutely wonderful people, you guys, beautiful people, beautiful inside, beautiful outside. I just met some amazing people who helped open up my eyes and who helped me to understand and broaden my understanding of what it means to enjoy life. Enjoying life is not about having materialistic things. Enjoying life is not about gaining all of these things, and it's not about what you have. But enjoying life is knowing who you are. Enjoying life is being able to appreciate life when you don't have the materialistic possessions. Enjoying life is enjoying the people who are in your life. So, one of the highs for me was my trip to Africa. And it was an absolutely amazing, amazing experience. And I'm able to look back on that experience and even look back on the people who I have made possibly a lifelong connection with, who have changed my life for the better, who have caused me to be a better person, who have shown me what true love really is. And I'm so thankful for that. And so, even as I can reflect on the great things and the highs and the lows of 2018, I want you to do the same. Chime in and let me know, what are some highs that you experienced for 2018? What are some lows that you experienced? If you're like me and you've had to let go of some connections and you've had to allow God to cut some people out of your life, let me know how that turned out for you. I know for me, it was difficult at first. I thought that it was a hard hit, but you know what? I learned that sometimes you win when you let go. Sometimes you win when you let go. And there's a lesson in every situation. There's a lesson in every connection. There's a lesson in everything that we can encounter in life. We just have to be open to seeing the lesson. And we have to be open to actually learning from the lesson and allowing it to be a teachable moment. And so 2018 has been definitely a roller coaster ride for me. And for a lot of you who know, December is kind of an up and down moment for me. December has always been a time of just deep grief for me, because it was a time when I lost my brother. But you know what? I'm in a different place now, and I can look back and I can appreciate the relationship that God gave me. I can appreciate God giving my brother to me for the time that he did. I can appreciate the people that God has placed in my life. Hi, Keisha. Thank you for joining. I can appreciate the new connections that I've made this year. I can appreciate that God has shown me myself this year. And I tell you, when God shows you yourself, it is such an eye opener, because you realize the beauty of who you are on the inside. It's not about how you look on the outside. And God has caused me to let go of some connections of people. They were only trying to connect to me because it looked like I had it all together. It looked like I was going somewhere, and yeah, I am going somewhere, no doubt. But you never want people in your life who are only attached to you because of where you're going. You want people in your life who love you for you. You want people in your life who appreciate you for you. And when you have those genuine people in your life, they actually push you that much closer to your purpose and your destiny. And it causes you to get more aligned with the purpose and the vision that God has for your life. And so I am extremely thankful for those who walked away. I'm thankful for those who stayed. I'm thankful for every part of 2018. And as I prepare for the last portion of the fourth quarter of 2018, I'm ready to do some more decluttering. That means some emotional decluttering, spiritual decluttering, physical decluttering. I refuse to go another year with some of the same issues that I've had in 2018. And I charge you to do the same. Refuse to go into December with the same issues that you've encountered the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter of 2018. Refuse to go into the end of the fourth quarter holding on to those grudges, holding on to unforgiveness. Release them. Because when you release them, God is able to do some miraculous things in your life. He's able to bring in some great people in your life, some great connections in your life. I kind of hit one of my road bumps that I hit this year was just kind of understanding the relationships, some of them that severed, and one of them in particular, I questioned God about it because I didn't understand why it had to end. And one of my questions to God was, Lord, I thought this person was going to be a lifelong friend. Sometimes we think that people are going to be lifelong connections for us, but that may not be the case, and when we refuse to let go of some situations and some connections and some relationships, sometimes God will cause those things to get hectic. God will cause the storms to come and chaos to come. But chaos will sometimes look that way. But once you look back on that situation, you realize it wasn't chaos after all. You just created a tug of war with yourself. God was telling you to let go. You didn't want to let go. God was steady telling you release that person. You didn't want to let go of that person. And so God allowed the situation to turn into chaos in order for you to let go. And so sometimes you got to thank God for the chaos. Because you know what? Chaos causes you to get on your knees. It causes you to seek God. It causes you to ask God questions and, really have an attentive ear to hear from God. So, the situations that I thought was chaos this year was actually God answering my prayers, because I often prayed this year and I said, God, whomever you have for my life, allow those people to stay by my side. And whomever you will have to leave from my life, if they're not for me, God, expose them, God. If they're against me, expose them, Father God, move them out of my life. And he did just that. And, I didn't see it then. But as I look back now, I'm like, wow, God, you answered my prayer. You answered everything that I could have asked you for. When I asked you to show me the true character of people connected to me, you did it. And I was hurt, and it hurt pretty bad. But God did just what he said he did. And even on some situations where I asked God to give me clarity, to give me revelation of some things, God did just that as well. Even when we make the wrong choices, God will still show us. The thing about it is that when you go to God and when you ask him to reveal something to you, you have to be ready for the answer. It may not be what you want to hear, but listen, God is such a good, good father that he will tell you what you need to know so that it can get you to where you need to go. And so I don't know who that's for, but that's for somebody on tonight. God will tell you what you need to know to get you to where you need to go. Every connection is not meant for you. Everything that feels good is not for you. And when you ask God to reveal the true character of the people around you, God will do that. He will do just that. So, number one, I want you to get a journal out. I want you to review and reflect on the year of 2018. What are some of the high points from the year? What are some of the low points from the year? How did you get through those moments? And then reflect on, if you could go back to your younger you from January 2018, what advice would you give yourself? For me, I would honestly tell myself, girl, you better buckle up, because this is going to be one heck of a ride for this year. I would honestly tell myself that. I would tell myself to be discerning, to be more discerning, to be more wise. I would tell myself in some situations, slow down, push the brakes, don't move too fast. If I could talk to my younger self from the beginning of this year, I would tell myself, hold on, it's going to be a year. You're going to have some extreme highs. You're going to have some deep lows. Use discernment, use wisdom. You're going to let go of some folk that you never thought you'd have to let go of. Some people cannot go to the next season with you, but don't worry. You're going to meet some people that are going to blow your mind. So what are some things that you would tell your younger self? I want to hear from you guys. Some of you, may feel more comfortable sending me a private message. I'm totally open to that. But chime in and let me know what's some advice that you would give to your younger self if you were going back to January 2018. Hi, Nuki. Thanks for joining us. For those of you who are just tuning in, we are talking about the fourth quarter, decluttering for the end of the year. And I want to hear from you guys. What are some things that you would go back and tell your younger self January 2018 of this year? As I just said, I would tell myself, girlfriend, buckle in. This is going to be a long ride. 2018 is going to have some highs. It's going to have some lows. Use more discernment. Use more wisdom. Don't fret the people who are going to leave, because God is going to send some people who's going to replace them. You're going to have some permanent connections. You're going to have some temporary connections. But God is still in control. Those are some things that I would tell my younger self. And when we're talking about reflecting and reviewing, I want you to get a journal out. Reflect and review on this year. And then I want you to contemplate your next plan. Not just contemplate your plan for the remainder of the fourth quarter, December, but what are your visions? What are your goals? I want to charge you guys to action, not just charge you to write these things down, but charging you to make that next step in fulfilling your dream. Make that next step in fulfilling your vision. If you already are working on that vision and that goal, what is something more that can get you that much more closer to your vision and to manifesting that call that God has in your life. To some of you, your calling is to serve people in different aspects, you know? So then what is the next step that you need to do to move you that much further to that? Maybe it's reaching out and connecting to other people who are already in a place where you want to go, you know? And that's something that I had to overcome, that hurdle. I was so shy in regards to networking. And now it's like you can't get me really to shut up. You know, I love talking to people. I love meeting new people. I love networking. I love understanding how people fulfill their passions, fulfill their goals and their dreams, you know. And it's an awesome thing because I realize that when you connect with people, you understand that God has designated some people to help you get to the place that you need to go. There are some people out there that God has aligned to push you to your destiny. You've got to connect with those people. You've got to network with those people. You've got to get yourself out there, make yourself visible, not be afraid of how you'll be, perceived. You can't worry about that. The only thing that you need to concern yourself with is fulfilling the purpose and the vision that God has called you for. You know, so make a plan. What is your plan for this December? What is your plan for the upcoming year? You know, start setting those things now and don't set it as a New Year's resolution. This is just my personal viewpoint on New Year's resolution. If you really want to change, it has nothing to do with a New Year's resolution. You would change starting now. You would change your lifestyle. You would change your habits. You would do what needs to be done now. You know, that's just like people saying they're on a diet. You know, a diet is something that's temporary. Oh, well, let me get on this diet because I want to reach this temporary goal. But then when the diet is up, you're going to go right back to eating what you previously ate and having the same lifestyle that you previously had. But when you change your lifestyle, you're making a permanent declaration saying, this is what I'm going to change. And I'm not just changing it, but I'm going to stick with it because I realize that my life needs a change. So I charge you, this is a call of action. I charge you, make a plan for the rest of the fourth quarter of 2018. And part of that making that plan is looking back over your journal, looking at the moment where you've reflected and reviewed on the highs and the lows of 2018. Reflect on those moments where you could have made better choices. Reflect on those moments where you could have made wise decisions. You know, some of the choices that I made, I had to pay for them severely. But listen, if I had a choice to go back and do some things differently, I honestly have to say I don't think that I would because it's made me wiser today. It's made me stronger today. And so the person that I am today won't put up with the stuff that I put up with then. The person I am today will not settle, will not lower her standards. The person that I am today is going to decree and declare what I am, whose I am, and not settle for anything less. And so I'm grateful for the person that God has allowed me to be today. I'm grateful for the things that I've encountered. Everything didn't feel good, but listen, everything happens for a reason. And there's a lesson in every situation. Another great high point for me for 2018 was, of course, the birthing of my twins. If you have caught on to some of my prior broadcasts, then you know the birthing of my twins refers to the J29 Experience Standing in Exile, my very first book, and the J29 Experience, my business. Listen, reflecting on those moments alone, y'all, it seemed like something that was impossible. It seemed like something that would not happen. But listen, when God puts his stamp of approval on your vision, on your purpose, God will make some things happen that will blow your mind. And that's one situation and one instance on this year where God has tremendously blown my mind. I am astonished at the amount of support and the amount of love that so many people have reached out to J29 and provided. I am just amazed at how people from different parts of the world have reached out. You know, God has blown my mind in that aspect. And in that regard, I also hit a tremendous low because, you know, God had to show me how to align things properly. And so things happened really quickly for me this year. My life changed dramatically this year. And it's been such an awesome ride. I tell you, I wouldn't trade it for anything. And so I charge you, just like I had to go back and do a reflect and review on my own life, do a reflection and a review on your life for 2018. And then after you've done that reflection and that review, look at where you are now. How much closer are you to your goals and your visions? And look at where you want to be, December 31st. How much more closer on December 31st do you want to be to manifesting in your vision and to walking in your purpose? And then think about 2019. Don't wait until January gets here. Where do you want to be at that time? I believe that God has purposed something great for each of you, and I believe that there is a group of people that God has set aside to help push you to your destiny. And it's so important that you are strategic about who you connect with, and you're strategic about who you allow to run in your circle. So many people just allow anybody to run with them. Listen, that's fine and dandy being friendly to everyone. I don't knock that. I don't negate that. But what I'm saying is be strategic about who you confide in during this season. Be strategic about who you pour your visions to and your goals to and your purpose to, because everybody who claims to be on your team is not on your team. And that's something that I had to learn. Every smiling face is not happy for you. Every hug is not supporting you. So you have to ask God to give you more discernment, more wisdom as it relates to your purpose and your vision and the manifestation of what God has in your life. And don't be afraid to let some people go. Don't be afraid. This is your purpose. This is your vision. This is your life. And God has a calling on your life, whether that be to serve people, whether that be to cater to people, whatever your call is, whatever your business is. Remember, the success of your business aligns with how you also have your relationship with God. The success of your business is tremendously impacted by your relationship with God, because everything comes from Him. Everything comes from Him. The Bible says every good and perfect thing comes from God. And so I charge you on tonight, sit down and think about, how are you changing someone else's life? That doesn't just mean serving within the church. It has nothing to do with the church. Your calling, the calling and the purpose on your life has nothing to do with the church. You can have a relationship with God and be serving people in a supermarket, serve people in the mall, serve people, in the community. The Bible says, do everything as unto the Lord. So in your business, in your calling, in your vision, in your purpose, how is it building up someone else? How is it pouring into someone else? How is it making someone else better? Take those things and let those things be a guide, a blueprint for you on fulfilling your purpose and your vision. And to someone out there, you're a little discouraged. You're discouraged about what your next move is. You're discouraged about if you can really do it. The Bible says that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I want you to know on tonight, the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2. Somebody needs to pull that up. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision and make it plain. What is your vision? What is your purpose? What do you strongly feel that God has called you to do? What is that thing that causes a burning desire on the inside of you that brings you so much joy? It makes you ecstatic when you think about it. Write that thing down. Pray on it. I don't mind praying with you. Send me an inbox, send me a DM and say, hey, I just want you to pray with me. You don't even have to go into details. I guarantee you I will lift your name up before God. And I will stand decreeing and declaring with you for the manifestation of the calling of God on your life. It's time out for us, kind of playing patty cake with our vision and our purpose. Oh yeah, this will be nice. This is what I want to do. No, make it happen. You got to speak those things into existence. Make it happen. If you know that you're meant to be a boss, you decree and declare you're a boss. If you know that you are meant to be an entrepreneur, you decree and declare that you are an entrepreneur. If you are meant to be a fashionista, you decree and you declare that you are a fashionista, and you make those steps, because faith without works is dead. I can say I'm an entrepreneur, but listen, what works am I putting in to make that thing a reality? So not only decree and declare it, but put that thing into work. Write the vision, make it plain, and get it done. You can do it. Because guess what? God didn't bring you this far for you to stop now. And you don't want to look back and say, would have, could have, should have. I wish I would have done this. God, I think I should have done this. Because something that I realized is that when I started seeing people in a similar position as myself and doing something similar to what I was doing, I would get this burning desire to say, God, I know I'm supposed to be doing something more. I know that I'm supposed to be out there doing this or doing that. I know that I can change lives. I know what you've put in me. I know what you've allowed me to go through. And I know that my story can bless somebody else. That's one of the battles that I had before J29 was being birthed. I knew that the pain that I was going through it for a reason. And I knew that my pain was starting to collide with my purpose when I couldn't sleep at night, when everything that came through my mind was about somebody needs this information, somebody needs these resources, somebody's going to need this story that you're dealing with, somebody needs to hear my testimony. And I will find myself running into people who needed to know what I had went through, who needed to hear my testimony, to know that if you can make it through, then so can I. So I want to tell that one person out there on tonight, somebody needs your service. Somebody needs your pain. Somebody needs your purpose. Somebody needs that meteorite where your purpose and your pain begin to collide. Somebody needs what you have gone through to make it through where they need to go. Somebody needs that right now. So I want to encourage you on tonight and let you know that it's not by chance that you made it to this far in 2018. It is not by chance that you're still here. It's not by chance that you made it all the way from January until now. It is not by chance that the people who walked out of your life this year walked out. It is not by chance that the new connections you've made this year have been made. It's not by chance that you've had some hits and some misses, some wins and some losses. It's not by chance that you've been on a roller coaster ride. It's all for purpose. You've got to determine what that purpose is. And when you go to God, ask him. Sometimes it seems like we encounter misfortune after misfortune. And I can say for myself that I thought, God, why do I keep going through this? Why do I keep bumping my head on the same thing over and over and over again? God, why does it seem like everyone's winning except me, God? Why does it seem like those who aren't doing good, who are wicked, are prospering? But then I'm reminded of God's word that tells me to be not envious of the wicked. Don't worry about those who aren't living right, who appear to have this life of prosperity. Because everything that looks good is not good. I know you guys know that. Everything that glitters is not gold. People can look good on social media. People can look good from afar. But listen, when God takes that cover off, I don't care if you're in the church, outside of the church, when God takes that cover off and begins to expose the real deal, it will blow your mind on how some people are living. So listen, I want to leave you with this. Declutter for the remainder of 2018. Don't wait until December 31st to declutter your life. Get a journal out, write down your highs and your lows of 2018, reflect and review of this year, and then write down your vision, write down your purpose. What are your goals for the remainder of the year? What are your goals for 2019? How can you reach those goals? What steps do you need to take to bring manifestation to those things? And when you've done that, I want to hear from you guys. I want to know how it's going. I want to know how I can be of encouragement to you. I want to know how I can stand with you, pray with you, decree and declare some things with you, rebuke some things, bound some things, loose some things. Because I do believe in the power of prayer. And I do believe in the power of encouraging and uplifting other people. And I know that if God has done some amazing things in my life, he can do so much more in your life as well. And I want to end by saying this. If you know of any divorced women, if you know of any women going through a divorce, the J29 has an array of resources available to these women and their children. We offer one-on-one mentoring. These women can come and get the help that they need. And not just encouragement, but J29 provides and facilitates and empowers women to change their lives, to rebuild their life after encountering an exile situation. J29's purpose is to have these women connect with other women who have gone through similar situations so that they're not going through these situations alone. We want you to know at J29 that whatever your situation is, as a divorced woman, you can get through this situation. Life doesn't stop here. I know that you may be in a dark place, but I want you to know that there is help here. And I've been through what you've been through. And I will connect you with other women who have also been through what you've been through. You don't have to go through this situation alone. There are one-on-one mentoring services. There are life group sessions where we help you rebuild your credit, where we help you get the emotional, spiritual, psychological help that you need to mentally get over this situation. We help you put yourself first, because you can't take care of your children or anyone else until you take care of yourself first. And then we even offer biannual retreats that we are also gearing up to do. This gives you a chance to get away from the norm, to get away from your day-to-day things, to go into a beautiful atmosphere, to focus on your healing. So J29 is here to help you. We want to help you. So it is my prayer that you guys would share this video, like this video. Go to www.j29experience.com. Check out the services, register for the services, register the services for someone else. Buy the book for someone else. Be a blessing to somebody this season. And remember, we here at J29, we want you guys to heal. We're here to facilitate your healing. Jesus loves you, and I love you as well. And I can't wait to hear from you guys. And we're going to follow up with some Q&A because I want to hear from you. So you guys have an awesome, awesome night. This is Stephanie Lowe, CEO of the J29 Experience. I love you. I love you. I love you guys. Bye, loves.